Alright. Objective number 1, assignment. Make progress on the assignment. Analyze data. Start writing out results. My advice for you for this week is, those of you who are working solo, make certain you have finished by the end of this week. You have knocked out and done the question 0, if you have a view of the data set, questions 1, questions 2, questions 3. Have those down and dusted. If you're working on a team, you probably want to be done through everything except question 6, the management question, by the weekend, so that whoever's on management, or if you're working, regrouping and reconvening as a team on the management question, that you've got some time to think about your response and get your answer down. Effectively, your timeline now is that you're inside the 14-day window. You can do this. You're on schedule, you're on track, you can make it happen. I'm going to open up a couple of additional consultation times on Thursday and Friday this week, because I assume that people are going to want to see me and ask some questions. The emergency survival guide will go live today with additional information about how to report results. Friday's class covered a reporting of results, but there were a couple of additional things I wanted to add to that, like how to report qualitative results. And then that's pretty much going to be it. There'll be a criteria sheet to let you know what I'm looking for per section, and the emergency survival guide of how to cite, how to quote, how to use this information. Your readings for this week are, once you go back and have another look at chapter 15, I know we've covered that in the previous week, but 15, 16, 17, we're looking at correlations really as your weapon of choice. But there are a couple of other options in there. Now, the other thing I want to say, the people who are good with statistics and the people who are comfortable with statistics, whilst I've capped out what I want to cover at chapter 17, so 16's analysis of variance and covariance, 17 gives you correlation and regression. You have got the rest of the book at your disposal. If you want to read up, if you want to do a structural equation model in this assignment, you can, so long as you've got an answer. And you point to me and say, well, this is how you report the result, and you give me the interpretation, and you give me an answer. The subject is sufficiently flexible that if you like numbers and you're good with numbers, you can do what you like. The other thing I will say to you for this week is that for those of you who are working on the project as a group and you've divided up the questions, check in with each other. Swap results and swap outcomes with each other, because there is a little bit of interplay between the different questions, and those of you who are doing the qual analysis might be able to feed some useful insight to the quant team, vice versa. So make certain that you are talking to each other as you're getting your kits together, so it's not just all come in at the last minute and assemble. And finally, the detail. The giant 40-something minute marathon pay attention to detail session. It's up on SoundCloud, it's up on YouTube. I'll just remind you that after marking some of the solo assignments, we have found that there were people who used surveys. Now, we told you not to, and we put it in a lot of different places, so come on team, pay attention to the detail. As far as the solo projects go, we are marking those at pace. We really do want to turn them back to you before the group assignment comes in. However, that said, what we are looking at is that the solo project, the feedback for that would be aimed towards giving you guidance on the exam. The feedback that you received for the tutorial kit 1 and tutorial kit 2, this round of feedback was designed to give you guidance and advice for how to handle the assignments. So if you're still looking at look, I'm not sure how I should be handling this, what should I do, how do I do this, go and look at your feedback from kits 1 and 2. That's going to give you some guidance as to what we were looking for, how we want you to structure, and when you did stuff well, what we were praising and rewarding. And finally, just one last reminder, and that is references are required, because doing this assignment without references is difficult, hard, and unpleasant. Doing the assignment with references is easier. I'm actually asking for you to take the less difficult path by requiring you to do the readings, familiarise yourself with the content, and justify your decisions. The citations and the references for I've chosen this analysis are so that you've read through and said, yes, this is the right analysis for me to use. That's all. That's why it's there, so that you are picking the right techniques. And with that, see you Friday.